Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Matt here today doing kind of a random video at the workbench. Not that I ever have a script plan, but usually I have some sort of plan of how I want to do my videos, but today just throwing the camera on because I was reminded something while I was cleaning my rifle. So first off, Dory and I just shot one of the most rainy and muddy matches we've ever shot on Saturday, which is pretty crazy because we've shot some pretty terrible conditions before. So I was letting the rifles dry for a couple days and I finally finished them. I pulled the actions out of the chassis and everything to make sure there's no water inside. But as I was reassembling it, it reminded me I have this hardware kit for the MDT ACC Elite to black out all the fasteners. So that's generally what I want to do today, is just throw this hardware kit on this chassis to see how it looks. But before we do that, first off, it is Monday, July 1st as of filming. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video, but I just want to say happy Canada Day to all my Canadian viewers. And of course, happy 4th of July to all my American viewers, because it's in a couple days. Now, this hardware kit, where did I get this from? Well, a very kind gentleman by the name of Carlos approached me at the NRL 22 Nationals, which was 2 weekends ago. And he mentioned he was putting together these blacked out fastener kits for the ACC Elite, which I thought was really cool. It's funny because this has been an idea of mine to do before, but I just never had the patience or the motivation to actually go and pick out all the proper fasteners in, I think these are nitrided, I'm not sure. I think they're black nitrided. But anyway, so he was putting together these kits and I asked him if he's selling these and he mentioned he could. So I'll make sure to put his Instagram handle somewhere on the screen right now. But again, yeah, really cool that he gifted me these. So thank you again, Carlos. It's really appreciated. And I did get to meet a lot of viewers at the NRL 22 Nationals, which is awesome because I really like to get to know more shooters in the community and chat with them. A lot of guys mention it feels like they know me through my videos, but of course it's sort of a one-way pipeline that way. So it's really nice chatting with viewers again. And thank you to everyone that came to say hi. But again, we're gonna just throw this hardware kit on here and see what it looks like. Obviously the ACC Elite has a lot of fasteners on it, especially if you're running the control bridges and the weights and whatnot. So we're gonna just see how it looks. Now my chassis are, I don't abuse any of my gear, but I definitely don't baby any of my gear either. These are not safe queens. I use them hard in matches. So if you look closely, my chassis do have wear on them. You know, some of my screws, like the one on my 2-round holder, will sometimes get a little bit rusty and whatnot. So I just think having a blacked out hardware kit is cool. And we're gonna see how it looks today. On the underside of my chassis, I do run 3 internal weights. So you can see those screws as well are the stainless color. And in the kit, let's see what comes here, comes in this. He did do his best to label all the individual baggies, but unfortunately they were rubbing up against each other, so a lot of them faded. So I sort of labeled them myself with these little pieces of paper inside here. So these ones are for the grip, the 2 grip screws there. These ones are for the connector bar. The connector bar has a few screws on that as well. You can see one there, and on the bottom of the grip as well. Next one here is for the thumb rest. So these are like the M-lock screws for the thumb rest there. We have some for the control bridges, and I run 3 control bridges, so there's a ton of screws. Each one has 6, so that's 18 screws on the forend, which is kind of annoying because every time I have to pull the barreled action out of the rifle, I have to remove 20 screws, 18 for the control bridges and then the 2 action screws, obviously. But so is life, or such is life anyway. Interior weights, so these are gonna replace the screws you see from the bottom for the forend weights inside, and then these ones must for the exterior weights, which I don't run any on my current setup for my Voodoo, but I do have another ACC Elite, so maybe we'll put those on that one. All right, as you know, YouTube is very anti-gun, so if I take a screw out of a chassis and put in another screw, I might have my channel taken down because it's, you know, assembly of a no-no item. Anyway, so I'm gonna do this off camera and then we'll come back and see how it looks. All right, it's done. Only took a couple minutes, obviously very straightforward. You're literally just replacing screws. But man, this fore-end section with the 3 control bridges, again, that's 18 screws, and I'm only running 3 of the internal weights, but they each have 4, so that's 12 plus 18 screws, 30 screws in total just on the fore-end to deal with. That was definitely the biggest pain. But what's really nice about the ACC Elite is MDT designed most of the fasteners on here to be a 1/8 inch hex driver, which is really straightforward, so you can use most of the same screws, again, take the same bit, which makes it really easy. The only exception for the screws that I've just replaced are the control bridges are T10 Torx, and the replacement screws that I got from Carlos are a 2 mil, I believe. So these are like metric screws. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I think it looks pretty sweet, and the fact that there are so many screws that are now blacked out actually make it look a little different. Obviously, these are small details that most people probably wouldn't even notice, but I think it looks pretty sweet. So really straightforward, and there wasn't actually as many screws as I imagined. It was, again, 2 for the grip here, and I didn't realize, but each screw, or I didn't remember, each screw has a washer and a nut on the other side, and the stock hardware from MDT, the nut and the washers are already blacked out, so it matches these blacked out screws really nicely. The connector bar has 2 on either side here and 1 on the bottom there, and then obviously all the fore-end screws that I had to deal with, and the M-lock screw for the thumb rest. So everything that can be blacked out has been blacked out, and I think it looks pretty sweet. Let me see if I can get you guys a shot of the bottom of the fore-end here for the internal weights, because I think that looks pretty sweet too. Not the best shot. Let me see if I can tilt the tripod a little bit. But all the screws have been blacked out. There's no silver anymore. And I think for this particular Cerakote job, it looks really nice to have some blacked out hardware. And again, this Cerakote job was done by Spec Ops Coatings here in Ontario. And I think it suits the blacked out hardware really nicely. So again, thank you, Carlos. Really cool idea. Again, I think he mentioned he can sell these kits if you want to hit him up on Instagram. But if not, you can find blacked out hardware yourself if you think it's worth the effort to put into it. Really cool. Just a neat little idea and kind of a fun random video for my day off on Canada Day. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But if not, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.